8 Sims, one family in a one-story modern house. I accept the challenge. Hello humans and welcome to my Sims 4 challenge series. This is a brand new series where I'm going to be challenging myself to completely random situations and trying to make a build that fits. So today's challenge is that I'm challenging myself to build a single story modern house for 8 Sims, a whole family of 8 Sims, not just random Sims of course. So that's going to be the most difficult part of this really. So yeah, hopefully I've done a pretty decent job with this. I think I have, but of course, as you can't always tell until I've completed the build, because this episode is going to be just the outdoors of the build and then some other stuff like the backyard and like other decorative stuff, but there's going to be no interior build in this one, unfortunately. So yeah, that's for the most part all there is to it. That's the premise, and I'm just building a modern house to fit that. So about the build is going to be a really dark themed modern house, sort of, like, in the sense that it's not really supposed to like look haunted or anything, but it's just the build is like has a lot of dark shades, a lot of blacks throughout the house, as you can see here. Like I've put black concrete for the driveway, and even the patios are going to have black tiles. All the accents around the house are dark colored, and for stuff like that. So while I'm building the foundation of the house and stuff like that, I'll tell you a little about the family that's going to be living here. So this family consists of 8 Sims, as I've said before. It's going to be the parents, two teens, so 2 teen sisters. Then there's going to be two, I think if I remember, I've made them twins, I think. Yeah, so 2 twins. They're not identical twins, but yeah, it's a brother and sister, pre-teens. I think in game it's called child, but I really hope that it was, because I was thinking of them as preteens, but the Sims for only as child, so I couldn't select any other age group. But yeah, in the sim builder, of course. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of it. And then there's 2 toddlers, which are not twins, but they are about the same age in terms of what I was thinking for the characters. So yeah, the whole premise of this is supposed to be sort of that the household that lives here, the parents, they're really like family oriented and they really like their kids, but the sort of fun aspect of the build is going to be that the the childs, the 2 children, they are really avid pranksters. Now actually, before I go on any further, let me just tell you about the fact that I don't know why The Sims does this, but you probably just saw it a little while ago, is that whenever you put a fence on a staircase, for some reason it cuts into the foundation. So if you have a staircase that's right next to the foundation, you can still see the fence on the stairs at the foundation. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid, but the only solution I've found around it, at least in my experience, is that I have to put a little, I have to extend the fence off the patio, like just 1 unit ahead, to be right next to the staircase, so that I don't have to use a staircase fence. I can just make do with a regular fence that's just a bit higher for the staircase. But yeah, it's kind of dumb, but really it should be alright for the most part. But yeah, and throughout the build actually, I've put a lot of toilets. I know sounds a bit dumb, honestly, but the way I think of it is, I'd imagine that the parents would want the kids to live in a house with a lot of toilets, because in the sense that I'd imagine the kids would try to fight over everything. Because they are kids at the end of the day, so they'll probably shout at each other for being in the toilet for too long and stuff like that. So yeah, that was kind of a concern, but So for that reason, I just put a bunch of toilets around the house. Like if you like, I haven't completed the build yet, but if I decide to put toilets in every single one of the bathrooms, then I think the build will have a total of 6 toilets. I think if I remember correctly. Yeah, I haven't completed the interior. This is like I've only completed the outdoors, and it for the most part it looks nice, and I think I've done a pretty good job considering the theme that I was going for and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And here comes the roof. Ooh, this is a nice thing I want to talk about is that the roof, I've put 2 angled bits of roof, and yeah, as you can see right here, there's a nice little gap there. So I decided that I wanted to put windows there. So it will be nice, it will look like a nice sunshade that goes directly into the kitchen. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I haven't talked about this at all, the floor plan of the house. So the bath that you see right there, the one that's right in front of the entrance, that's going to be the kitchen and dining room. So it's going to be where you walk in the front of the front door, there's going to be a dining table, and then right next to the door that goes to the backyard and the patio, that door is going to be right in front of the kitchen. And then the other big room that you can see to the left right now, that is going to be the main living room, because honestly I wanted the house to have a really big living room, just for the reason that it's a big family, so I'd imagine it would be nice to have a really big living room, and plus they have space for it, so they might as well. Yeah, I'm rambling about random stuff, but yeah, I think it's a nice addition anyways to have a really big living room in a big house like this. So yeah, that's the other thing. I've tried to make this house in like with a mind with like while thinking that this family is fairly rich, like really really rich. So they've got a lot of money to spend and stuff like that. So that's the main theme of what I was going for this build, is that the family is going to be really rich, and that's why they don't hold back on anything. Like they are willing to spend as much money as is needed for whatever they want, for especially on their kids, because that's kind of it's kind of like a really parent based household, to the point where like the parents really like the kids and they're willing to do anything for them. There's like very little disconnect among the members of the household. I sound really yeah, I probably, yeah, but it's kind of a awkward thing to explain, but yeah, for the most part that's kind of what's going to happen throughout the build. And yeah, there we go. This is me trying to figure out what like wood panels to place on that part of the build. So you see god damn it. So I was trying to decide what wood panels I should place throughout the build, and I've decided that for like initially I wanted like nice like really like bright wood panels to go on the what's towards the left side of the build, like the living room and the parents area. So yeah, I ended up going for like a really, if I remember, like a dark wood, because honestly I was hoping that I would be able to go for like a really bright, like not bright but like a really orangey red wood to go on there. And then I tried, as you can see there, I was trying to go for a really dark green, so I wanted it to look sort of like a sort of like a dark forest almost color palette. That's kind of what I wanted for the build, but I couldn't find a really nice green. I mean, I tried, but all the greens that I could find looked either way too bright for the build or just really like a bit too how do I say this, like a bit too pale, if you will. So here's me, I'm trying to experiment with what if I put the wood accents on the majority of the build and then have the a stone accent, not a stone accent, but like the left wing be made of stone instead. But I ended up going for my original plan with wood on the left and then the rest of the house be black brick, because yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. I'll probably end up changing that particular texture from the instead of like black brick, I'll probably end up putting like something else, because I feel like, if I remember, this is like a really not a rustic one, but it's like it's raw brick. It's not like a brick tile or anything like that. It's not symmetric, so it doesn't look very clean. And also because like how do I say this, the black bricks aren't actually black. It's like a really dark gray, so it blends in a bit too much with the windows and stuff, because they are also like not quite black. They're just really like dark gray. And yeah, I was encountering some lighting problems. I'm sure you've noticed that lighting problems with the doors, because on for some reason, with like instead of natural lighting, whenever there is like in-game lighting, like from a lamp or something, the doors just look like pitch black, like they're reflecting no light whatsoever, almost. It looks a bit awkward. I'm pretty sure you probably would have noticed it then, but yeah, that did happen and it was really weird. Anyways, I'm moving on to the front yard now. For the most part, the front yard isn't supposed to be anything special. It's literally just a strip of grass with a bunch of plants. There's not even enough space there to have like furniture and stuff. Because right now I'm placing just the trees for the build, and then I'll put a bunch of bushes. There's going to be like almost like a hedge sort of bush line with the trees, and then there's going to be a bunch of flowers and stuff that will go around like right in front of the house walls, like the living room wall and stuff like that. So there's not going to be much space left throughout the build throughout the front yard for any kind of furniture or anything like that. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably place like a bird bath or something like that, but there isn't much space for anything else really. And this is a bit of a mistake I made, because I tried to put a hedge bush there, but I forgot that I'd put the gate, like the entrance gate to the front yard there. So yeah, honestly, come to think of it, there probably shouldn't be a fence around the front yard anyways, because considering the fact that it is just an open front yard and there's nothing there doesn't really need to be any fences. I might end up getting rid of them, but so far I haven't decided on anything like that. But yeah, that's even if I'm bothered to decorate the front yard even more than it is right now, because to be fair, it is fairly decorated. It looks really nice, but there's just no use for it. It's just extra space pretty much. It's just dead space. So yeah, I was thinking of putting like a nice tree out the front, but then I noticed that any of like any like a medium or a small tree that I could potentially put there, it's a bit the fence is too high for one of those trees, and if I make them too big, then it just cuts into the house, so that's not a good idea. And then any of the trees that are like around in the local area in the neighborhood, I'm not sure exactly which props the neighborhood uses. I haven't checked on Google or anything like that, but yeah, I tried to put some of those, but it didn't work out quite well, because the trees are a bit too big, and then if I shrink them down, then it just looks unnatural to have like really tiny pine trees that are massive everywhere else around the neighborhood. Sorry, I don't know why I struggle saying that. It's a bit weird, but yeah, anyways, here's me trying to put a bunch of flowers around the place. I did go a bit overboard, so I did like end up pulling it back, because I was like, I did this and then it looked like it was a bit too much. So yeah, there we go. I end up, there we go, getting rid of those flowers to the very left of it. So then I've got just a few of these bushes out the front, and then I think there's one other flower that I'll end up putting around the place just to like make it look really nice. And yeah, that's kind of it for the front yard. You'll see I'll just end up putting one more flower. Yeah, there we go, that white flower plant. I actually really like this plant. It's one of my favorites. Like, it's one of my favorite flower bushes that The Sims has. It's really nice. I love it. And here's the most interesting part of this build so far, is that I don't know why. Initially, I wanted this to just be like a little kids play area type thing, and then just have a barbecue there, because, why not, just to make it look nice. But then, for some reason, I found this really nice, like a projector. Well, yeah, there we go. That one is that I found this really nice projector wall. I know it's like it kind of doesn't fit in too well with the entire like theme of the build of like the build is supposed to be for like really like super rich parents, and they like so I'd imagine that if they did want to do this, they would have done it with like a proper projector wall. But I imagine the story I thought of for this one was that one day the kids just found a projector around the house, and then they just took it outside, and then while the parents weren't home, probably like while they were off at work or something like that, they just built their own projector wall with like that white cloth that you see there, and then like they probably found like golf clubs and like other random books and boxes and stuff around the house, and then they just built their own projector wall. And then so the parents just decided to keep it because it was like, the kids worked really hard on it, and then the parents were like, you know what, they really like it, so we'll keep it instead of buying a proper projector wall. So then they just kept it, and then decided to like, if we're like, okay, if we are doing this, might as well put furniture out. So then they just put a bunch of couches and stuff around the house. So then that entire like barbecue and kids play area just ends up being like a outside lounging area at this point. So yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. It looks really nice, and it's like it makes the house feel really alive, in my opinion, because it feels very realistic. So, and yeah, I think that's like it's nice of the parents as well. Like, it's like a nice character build for the parents that I imagine, because it's like it really shows that the parents actually care a lot about their kids and are just like letting them do whatever they want. Because like I'd imagine like initially like the dad probably must have been a little angry that the kids just stole his golf clubs and then just probably broke them in the process or like bent them. Because yeah, if I remember if you look at the prop, those golf clubs are not in reasonable use condition. Like the dad can't just take the clubs back and continue using them, really. So yeah, the kids did ruin his golf clubs, but it shows that they care. The parents don't really care too much about that. They're like, okay, if the kids are happy, might as well, you know. There we go. That's just me like randomly trying to decide what color looks better inside the swimming pool. So initially, I just as you saw over there, I built two different palettes for the like color palettes for the swimming pool, because I was deciding, do I want it to be like a medium blue tiles or do I want it to be dark blue tiles. I think if I remember, I do end up going for like the medium, like teal, not teal, but like sort of like turquoisey medium blue instead of like a light or dark blue that I could have gone for. I think it looks nice. It just makes the swimming pool look that much more colorful. And there we go. This is just me building the random barbecue area that's behind here. Because yeah, I think I do, if I remember, I do end up like pushing the barbecue area a bit back against the wall after a lot of messing around with the bushes and finding out nothing works. So I just end up pushing it back right up against the fence of the patio. But that just looks nice. Plus, it's like a good idea anyways, because it gives a nice space to be walking around. Because right now, if I had kept it like this, then there wouldn't be much space left around. Like the Sims would be able to walk around it, but it just felt cramped. So I was like, if I'm getting rid of the bushes and stuff anyways, I might as well push it against the wall instead of replacing them with like thin flowers or anything like that. So yeah, there we go. This is me like properly building the entire barbecue area and stuff. I put a bunch of sauces, spices, paper towels. I put a wine rack there. Honestly, now that I think about it, that's probably a horrible idea, considering there's kids around the house, so they'll end up drinking. They'll end up trying to drink that alcohol if I leave it there. So yeah, there we go. Here's me. Yeah, there we go. That's the flowers and stuff that I tried to place there. I tried a few different options. Nothing really looked good, especially like because it would either there's like nothing quite the same thickness as the one I want. Because this is like the stupidest idea I've ever done, I'll be honest. Like for here, these flower bushes look really nice, but to put them behind the barbecue, that was just a bit awful idea, because Why would anyone leave that big a gap behind the barbecue station and then have it just be filled with like half a foot tall flowers that don't even pop out over behind the barbecue area? Like, having plants behind there was like a plan that was sort of like doomed to fail anyways, considering realistically you wouldn't want plants or like any kind of greenery hanging above where you're cooking, because hygiene and stuff plus insects can get in your way. So yeah, that's just a random pile of firewood that I found, and I couldn't find any other better place for it, so I just put it behind that chair. And yeah, there we go. This is the part of the build that I hate the most, because it's a 3 tile long patio. So I was thinking that I'll make a nice sitting area for is because especially for the parents, because it's away from most of the house. So I'd imagine that this area is sort of only really used by the parents when they want to sit out and relax while still being able to like look around the house and like keep an eye on the kids. Or you'll see I'm gonna place another table right in the corner. It's like a nice 4 people table, so I'd imagine that's like a table that like the teens can use when they have their friends over for like a study session or anything like that, or just like hanging around really, because it is like a just nice outdoor seating area, and it's like a location based as well. It's really nice because from this area you can look out over the farmland that's like across the road to the right of the screen. The road that you're seeing glimpsing around the corner, and also because you can like look straight ahead, and there's like a nice foresty area as well. So yeah, it's just like a nice beautiful place to be sitting and for relaxation and just to enjoy and stuff like that. And there we go. That's pretty much most of the build completed now. After I've placed a few different furnitures and stuff, that will be the furniture, at least the furniture part of the build done. There is a few different things that I fix after I'm done building this, but yeah. This is the part where I put grass. I had completely forgotten to paint grass throughout the entire house, because I'd imagine they've used artificial lawn throughout the house, because it would be like good for time management. Like, no, I can't imagine the parents being able to manage time to do lawn mowing and take care of the garden and do their jobs and take care of kids. That's just the type of thing that I imagine isn't really possible. I think if I remember the mother's name, which is Adeline, I think. Yeah. Like, Adeline does kind of like work from home, so it's not like she's going to a job, but she still has things to do around the house. So like trying to balance work and kids and gardening and lawn mowing just isn't realistic. So I'd imagine that they have like artificial lawn installed around the entire property and stuff like that. That's it for the build. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for part 2 of the build where we tackle the interior. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.